Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 104 for Pokerole. I feel really proud saying the number now that it's gone to the hundreds. I feel like, oh man, look at our long-running series. This is awesome. But we are back. We had quite a climactic episode 103 last 2 weeks ago. With the whole Tucker repeatedly failing his rolls, but it was very good for dramatic effect at the same time. But he did manage to Shadow Snakes everybody out of evil Eternatus prison. But he came along for the ride, so we'll see what happens this session. But before we begin, of course, I'd like to say that if you like the video or subscribe, that's pretty awesome of you. But it's super awesome of you if you come over to Twitch, because we're trying to reach a partner over here, but we need more viewers to do it. So if you want to come by, whether it's to lurk or to talk, think about doing so, because it really does help out. The more people we have for the more streams, just generally increasing that average, it really will make a difference, and we'd honestly love to have you too. We also have a pretty cool Discord community if you want to check that out, as well as a Pokerole Discord sub-community you can access the link to from there. I have a Coffee link if you want to help directly monetize my content, and I have a merch store if you want to buy some cool stuff. Also, we do also have, of course, the Pokerole Wiki. You can check out the link there if you want to get episode recaps and stuff, catch up on things, or just read character descriptions and such. That's also there. All links are in the description, so you can check them out at your leisure. I'm a little discombobulated. Also, as a small disclaimer, I hope this isn't an issue anymore, but if you hear any audio stutters in today's episode, I apologize. We had a weird issue. I've restarted my computer now. It's probably gone, but I can't guarantee it. But just if you hear any weird audio stutters, no, it's not your computer. It's just something weird happened today. Maybe it's Twitch. I think it's Twitch at this point. But yeah, everything's running fine outside for that though. But how is everybody doing on the table today? Like, how's everybody?
Super duper.
You're grooving today.
Yeah. Went and saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3 that always has a banging soundtrack.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know there was a Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I do not keep up on movies.
Apologies for pulling that out. That was in the model decks.
It is? Wait, why was it there? That's weird. Huh. Do you want it back in the Pokedex thing?
Yes, please.
Good. And then we all went to Sonic afterwards, got myself a nice killer dog.
Sonic is a pretty good place for food, I'd say. There are still better fast food places, but it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I love a good killer dog.
Summer is hit, so I apologize for extra AC noise. Summer is officially hit. It's a very, very warm day today here in Canada. So, is it actually summer yet, or is it just warm? I don't know.
Both.
Let's see. What's 9:10? Let's see here.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Stradivarian. Honestly, I would be suffering pollen as well, except for I got, like, what was it? 2 shots in each arm every 2 weeks for 2 years, which killed my allergies. But I had perpetual allergies. Like, it didn't even matter what season it was. I was, like, allergic to grass, dust, pollen, etc. Everything that's common, I was allergic to. Everything you just run into on a day-to-day basis, I was allergic to. So.
82 Fahrenheit here right now.
Ooh. And it's getting a little bit warm. It's not super warm, but it's definitely warm enough to be
it's not super warm.
Let's see. The temperature today is
28 Celsius, by the way.
70. It's only 71 here, but I still call it warm because it's freaking Canada.
Yeah. Let's see. Looks like all the highs this week: 89, 89. There's a 91 later on.
I should also note I'm in a second-story apartment, though, so all the hot air, rises up here too. So it's probably a bit warmer in here than 71. But all that aside, Car, would you like to give us a recap? Why is everybody fainted? Huh?
Because not all of you came through conscious.
Oh, fair enough.
Doesn't look like I'm fainted, so we're good.
You've been invited to a game. What? No. I played Pokerole today, Mr. Harrison Butter Jim. That's random. I don't know who this is also. Oh. They sent me a message saying, what is the password? They want to join Pokerole. This random person, I don't know. What's the password so they can play? I appreciate the interest.
This table is publicly available.
It is.
So you can get this table and you can gather up some friends who also want to play.
I should also say, technically, this server room is public as well, but that's specifically because for some fucking reason, if you set a tabletop room to friends only, you can't set a password to it. The only way to set a password to a room is to make it public. So this is technically a public room, so I could set a password because there's no other way to set a password.
Invite only.
Yeah, I agree. Is there an invite only option? I don't. Maybe there is.
I know.
Pokemon.
Sorry, I'm deleting old models.
Oh.
I was wondering, I'm like, why are these models just going...
Yeah, well, while everything was getting sorted, it's like, I should search and see if we have a Lucario model. Apparently we don't, or it's transformed itself.
I mean, we fought what's-his-face. Shouldn't we have one?
It should be in here, a Lucario model.
Somewhere.
I see why you need it, though. Yeah, there it is. Found it. Unsearch it, I can grab it for you.
Riley's first session's an NPC.
There you go.
Alright. Thank you. I'll use that in a bit.
Okay, I think I can afford to turn the AC down.
In any case, before I do recap, I have to thank Ennio and Beerus and everybody who tried to get all the cliff notes available for last session's game, like in the commentary under the video, because apparently YouTube was being butts, and they suffered greatly.
Yep, Ennio was being shadow banned. His comments were being randomly shadow banned from my channel without my knowledge or approval, because YouTube does that sometimes.
Yes. So once again, we have to and should thank Ennio for being the great note keeper.
Agreed.
Yes.
Last time was session 103. Something lost and something found. Following the absolute decimation of the Dragon Eaters at the hands of Ryda goes over to the bodies and begins to tear them apart, planning to use stingers and plates for, well, weapons and other things. Raul proceeds to do the same, seeing the potential use behind such things and also planning to try and research just what they are. And the only one visibly concerned about the idea is Florence. But after looting as much as they wanted, the group leaves the area to try and regroup with the others. They are soon presented with 3 paths to go down. Ryda attempts to try to sense Brooke to determine which direction to go, and proceeds to follow a sensation down the leftmost path, with Ralph, Luxray, and Florence following suit. They come across another split in the path, one way leading towards a block of cells that seem to be naturally formed in the caverns. They start to hear more Dragon Eaters from behind them, and Ralph gets the idea to cave in the path behind them using metronome to slow them down. The result ended up being a rock slide, and the plan worked like a charm, ignoring the loud sound that most likely told the Dragon Eaters exactly which direction they went in.
Hey, sis.
Hey, it worked. The group then pushes on down the path containing a more developed cell block than the other. Traveling further, they soon come across a pair of stairways, both leading to lower levels, and an archway that seems to just lead to nothing besides a wall. Ralph ponders why exactly that is, but escape is obviously much more important, so they proceed down one of the staircases. As they push on, however, Luxray confirms that there actually is a room beyond that archway, despite the wall blocking the path to it. Meanwhile, Burke and Tucker proceed to follow after Liar. They pass by an area with shackles dangling from the wall and a skeleton hung by one of these shackles. Then they come across a room filled with statues depicting different dragon types that look a bit too realistic to have just been regular statues. Tucker can sense via connection that their friends seem to be on the move, making determining which path to go a slight bit difficult. Tucker also notices Liar seems strangely sad looking at the statues, and asks if Liar recognizes them. Liar struggles to answer in words that Tucker, Brooke, and Noibat could understand, eventually settling on calling the statues a cage. The group soon decides to go down a path to the east, which leads to a large pit, reminiscent of the one Brooke and Tucker saw in Claydol's cairn. As they ponder what to do, Liar walks towards the pit, and seemingly starts to walk in the air before looking back at the group with confusion. Noibat also remarks with confusion to the two, asking if they can't see the words. It's going to be a good session I had to words. Noibat also remarks with confusion to the two, asking if they can't see the red threads that form a bridge along the pit. Tucker and Brooke figure that the threads must only be able to be seen by dragon types, which Liar currently is due to the use of the move Camouflage, and follow Liar's lead, walking on the threads that are invisible to them. As they travel, Tucker starts struggling to maintain the use of connection, but can at least sense that the others are close. They press on down one of the paths on the other sides of the pit, which leads to yet another pit. Tucker and Brooke attempt to keep walking, but are promptly warned by Noibat that there are no threads forming bridges over this one. Noibat suggests that they could jump down, as they think the pit isn't too deep, which Brooke immediately does. Fortunately, the Noibat was right, and the worst Brooke had to face was a stinging sensation as a thread barrier blocks his fall after a few feet. Brock's. Yes, Brock. The best floor. Soon, the two groups reunite in a sequence of the same pits. Ralph, Rida, Luxray, and Florence, having no idea about the thread barriers, are left to determine their own way across. Rida and Hatterene sensibly teleport and float over the pit respectively, while Ralph, insensibly, proceeds to yeet Luxray and Florence across the pit. Ralph then runs and attempts to leap over the pit, managing to succeed thanks to Rida using Psychic to levitate Ralph the rest of the way across. Once each of the groups start to see each other, Rida immediately rushes over to Brooke to check if they're okay, paying no mind as to how they are seemingly walking on nothing. Brooke informs the others about how this group broke one of the prisoners free, which immediately concerns everyone except Rida. As Brooke explains, Tucker hands Liar one of the two remaining tea cakes to eat so they can both float down onto the threads and meet up with the others. Upon seeing Liar, Florence seems shocked and proceeds to try to ask who they are. However, before he can, a roar shakes the room, and something crashes into the threads they are all standing on. Realizing time's up, Brooke immediately tells everyone to leave, heading towards the southernmost exit of the room. Ralph, noticing that Liar seems exhausted, proceeds to pick up Liar as they move. They proceed to a lower level, with Ralph trying to provoke nearby prisoners to try and start a riot as they do. His provocations start somewhat, giving them some extra time to run as prisoners start attacking the nearby wardens. They are given further time by Liar, using their last remaining strength to use aromatherapy before passing out, further distracting the guards and calming the group slightly. Brooke suggests to Tucker as they run to attempt to connect with someone outside of the prison to determine what direction to go. Tucker requests some assistance to help him with trying to use the power across such a large area, and Hatterene and Rida offer their psychic powers as aid, while Brooke assists using augmentation. Ralph buys further time during this via blocking the path behind them with Stealth Rock. Thankfully, Tucker manages to use connection to be able to locate Riley, giving Tucker a guide out of the prison. They can also sense a strange power, and Tucker tries to call upon it. He calls for everyone to move close to him, and, using a combination of Dark Pulse and Shadow Sneak, as well as requesting Book to bite him to let an adrenaline rush power him up further, attempts to teleport out. At first, it struggles to work, and requests that Brooke bite harder to try and incur more pain to strengthen his emotions further. Then, hearing that, Rida gets the idea to use Synchronize to force some of the turmoil occurring in their mind in their unhinged state currently onto Tucker. That manages to do the trick, and everyone is pulled into the shadows and out of the prison. As they press forwards through the shadows, the group hears Eternatus, traveling through the shadows as well in an attempt to stop the escape and reclaim their prize. Lyre's body seems to glow in the dark, and they slowly regain consciousness. As they do, a note rings out, which seems to ward off Eternatus a bit. Ralph, noticing this, tells Florence to try and play the thread strewn across Lyre's horns to further ward off Eternatus. There is difficulty at first, as plucking the strings seems to pain Lyre, which causes Florence some manner of stress. However, upon a second attempt, Florence manages to play a song, further pushing Eternatus away. Brooke, uttering an insult at Eternatus and how his immense ego makes him a terrible leader, uses augmentation to slow Eternatus further, giving Tucker even more time to get everyone out of the shadows and out of the prison. Eternatus makes a last-ditch effort to grab for the group, but it is to no avail as everyone finally exits the shadows. Everyone is brought out into the Cave of Mirrors, and Eternatus follows suit. I don't know why it says they seem to fall unconscious upon exiting. Eternatus is not unconscious. Right then.
All right.
I was given an interesting idea that I will talk to Car about later.
Okay.
Oh no?
No, it's a
Just got
good one.
disconnected.
It involves the items I got. Oh, nope, I got disconnected.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Everybody just got the little.
Thanks,
connecting
Steam.
issue. Yeah. So
My
again,
idea ruined everything.
a reminder to everyone: Steam Wednesday multiplayer connection shit. They like mess with it and like refresh it, and it can cause issues to Pokerole sessions sometimes. We've been avoided for a while, but I do believe it might be activating today. Let me know if you guys can rejoin the table. If not, I guess I'll have to restart the table.
I can't currently see
Let's
it.
take a look.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
in a
that-
book.
Reading Rainbow?
Yeah.
I guess I'll save the table state first, since a bunch of stuff was changed. Alright, hold on.
Ah, that's funny. Fox. Hydra. I have an idea. Steam. They have an idea. Shut everything down.
We don't allow those here. Ideas? What? No, you can't be free thinking.
My connection
This is an
to Steam
Orwellian
appears to
society
be
or something.
lost.
What's that?
I'm not connected on Steam, apparently.
I'm gonna restart the table, because when this happens, with the everybody disconnects thing, usually requires a, no connection. This is typical Steam Wednesdays right here. Typical Steam Wednesdays. It wasn't being typical for a while. Okay, it went back online for me. I figured it doesn't do that for long, but I swear they could do this a better way, in my opinion. They could have like a thing where Steam goes to a special page and it says, "All right, we're doing maintenance right now. Here's an ETA for our completion. Here's a countdown that's automatically generated. Please sit tight." Boop a doop a doo. You sit tight, and then wait, what?
Steam Wednesdays. More like Steam Lose Days. Am I right?
Huh, the save didn't save. That's a weird... I've never had that happen before. Oh, I'll load the autosave, which is probably in the same place.
My joke was funny, and you know it.
Yeah, okay, I think... Yeah, this looks right. I mean, you'll have to refaint people, but I think it's otherwise right.
That's fine.
Your joke? Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was like, why did this not save? I literally saved the table, but I didn't save the table, apparently. Did I misclick something? I thought I, like... Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, wait, hold on, actually. I think I know what happened. Nope, that's not what happened. What the hell happened? That's really weird. Okay. It's saving properly now. That's all I can. Maybe the Steam Cloud thing broke the save somehow too. Oh. Steve, what are you doing? Oh well. We will get move on though as soon as everybody's back on the table. I see we'll be fine now. Usually we have to have like one hard crash on Wednesdays and then it's good. Got your music.
I am back on the table.
Excellent. Everything should be the same. Everything should be the same. Unless somebody was doing something I wasn't aware of, but it should be good now. Though I may as well.
I'm back!
Hooray! Try this alt table save thing again. There we go. Yeah, there we go. See, there's a save now. Yeah, it's really weird. It just didn't save that one time. Okay. I am kind of curious why you've decided that we need to delete models from the Game Boy, though.
It makes it easier to search.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so ones we aren't active. Also, these are old models.
Fair.
I'm also not deleting ones that I know we're going
I did kind of have... Well, okay. So, those old models are of a type of model that no longer exist. I cannot ever get them again. So, if those old models have a compatibility advantage over the new versions, if you delete them, they're gone forever, basically. That's the only reason I hesitate with your decision.
I apologize.
Yeah. Well, I guess I could load them from a previous save if I really needed them, but...
Oh, wait, what? Second Lucario?
No, yeah, like I said, I loaded an autosave, so it still has... Yeah, that guy was still there.
I just didn't see him.
Yeah, the autosaves are still working, but I couldn't do a manual save for some reason. It's really weird.
Lucario.
Oh, he still has the base. I can change
That's only for the Mega. I just wanted to see.
Alright. It's the Kyrio's twin Lucas. No.
Oh, shoot. Now I need to find Kamo. I forgot.
It's okay, I'll help you. You're still a little tired from the travels. Let's see.
No, I'm fine.
He should be in here.
Also, we can put on music
Got
now.
him. Got him. Go ahead and close that.
Faster than I am.
Do you want his son?
Nah.
Okay.
I should put on the music, though. That'll help.
Yeah. Yeah, Mama Jolt has been, as you put it, has been doing vacation and traveling and finished traveling today, so... He says he has enough energy, but I think I am noticing he's a little tired. We're probably going to do a shorter session.
How dare you? I slept.
Listen, sleeping after traveling doesn't necessarily mean you wake up feeling like, I'm full energy again.
Meh. Right then.
It's fine. This is why. No, it's fine. This is why Inio's timestamps and Inio's work. By the way, I just want to promote that for a second. Why his work is so important, because for the YouTube videos, his timestamps let people know when does the game actually start. like in this timestamp.
Yeah, we do that. I do that. Right then. So the group of you are rather collapsed on the ground at the moment. In a familiar central chamber, with many mirrored surfaces along the walls, and behind you, similarly collapsed on the ground, is the bony figure of Eternatus. Though even now they stir. What does their feint look like? Oh, it's weird.
Did it just like glitch out? Hold on, let me do it again.
No, it pauses on that frame.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, it doesn't have a true collapse.
It doesn't? Huh. It looks like it's going to finish collapsing, and it just doesn't.
Also, I know it was a dig at all of us. So.
You took responsibility for it, which made me feel sad. It wasn't me either that way.
I'm the storyteller. I'm supposed to.
Oh, good point, Beerus. Good point. I was like, why doesn't it finish? Oh, because the actual official animation returns into his Pokeball at that point. Fair.
Yeah. Of course, this intrusion into the cavern was not exactly quiet. As those of you who are conscious start to pick yourselves up, there's another familiar sound. The jangling of scales. What is going on here? Who decided it would be a good idea to cast Earthquake in my cave? A rather irritated Kamo. As they come into view, you can see that their scales are still somewhat rusted over, but they're looking a lot better than last you left them.
That's good to know.
Although, they stop in their tracks when they see Eternatus beginning to rise. Lizard also follows behind Kamo, their arm wrapped around the arm of a Lucario, one that happens to have a blindfold over their face at the moment. Ah! I leave you guys alone for 1 week, and you anger an energy hydra.
It's not our fault entirely.
Yeah, somehow I doubt that.
It's, in the wrong place at the wrong time. I wish you like the blindfold. We're not that ugly.
Oh no, we interrupted their pinata game.
That's debatable. Which, by the way, unerringly, the Lucario manages to point at Ralph.
I'll point back.
What's that? That's not a what. It is a whom. There's a loud rattling of metal as Kamo goes down on one knee, bringing their fist before them and bows his head.
Should we be bowing, or is it too late for that?
I feel like I'm
Somehow.
moving past. Oop.
Oh, yeah. Luxray just going to respond. Somehow I think it's a little late to be bowing.
Yeah, well, you and Chummy lose some.
Also, I apologize if my voice is not at its best. It's been 2 weeks, plus a vacation, and also I made the terrible mistake of attempting to eat a square of Godzilla bar with Carolina Reapers in it.
The hell is a Godzilla bar? Also, I'm gonna face us the other direction. It makes more sense, I feel.
It's a chocolate bar. Like a half-pound chocolate bar. I only had a square, by the way. I'm not insane. That has crisp in it and is infused with Carolina Reapers, and I nearly threw up after one square and spent 15 minutes trying to get it out of my mouth.
I wouldn't touch that for the Reapers. If it wasn't spicy, though, I probably could eat it in one sitting.
There's even a warning on the wrapper to not leave it where, children or pets can get it and eat at your own risk, and it's like, They probably only kinda do. No, it's chocolate infused with Carolina Reaper powder. Don't consume.
Well, for the chocolate part, I'd point out that some pets actually, pretty much all pets should not have chocolate, but I would point out some of them can actually not detect spicy things, so for some that wouldn't matter, that part.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Everybody keeps apologizing, stop it!
Meme I saw where the pepper, this pepper was like, I developed a chemical specifically so people wouldn't want to eat me, and then humans, we selectively bred your offsprings until we got one that produces 1,000 times as much of that chemical, and we sell it for people to consume.
Humans be crazy. Oh, Car, can I do a? Oh yeah, go ahead, Car.
I just had a line.
Sure.
To read. Hey, why they got bigger? But grins, struggling to stand up. We kinda had a break out of jail. Sorry to interrupt.
What were you gonna do, Charm?
Tucker looks very... I was going to make a comment about what Tucker was doing. That's all. Tucker looks very... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask, did you still want thing to happen to Tucker?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's already, I'd say. Unless you like to do it now.
I just wanted to give a reminder just in case.
Yes. Yes. I will simply put, Tucker somehow is still conscious. It seems like he's not completely there, though, and he looks very, very woozy, and is more or less trying to, like, focus on what's going on around him, but he just keeps, like, wincing and staring back at the ground for now. He's not saying anything else.
Hey, I had to grow up sometime. Riley responds to Brooke. But seriously, what the heck did you all get into in however long you've been gone?
What, you remember our old adventures? Exactly the same as that. And also, I grew up and grew out, so I win.
So a lot of screaming, trauma, PTSD-inducing terror. Got it.
I mean, not that much terror. We were in a prison that, like, absorbed, energy.
Oh,
We
great.
rescued this guy. I motioned to the to the guy.
To liar who you are currently holding.
Brooke.
Oh, by the way, get this guy. I'm gonna toss him liar, and these two, and I'm gonna like motion to the two fainted ones. Get them to like don't play safe.
Was Liar fainted?
No, but they are weak.
Ah.
Just, like, put them in the
shoot.
fainted pile.
Hang on. What? I need to look at Riley's stats.
This is fair.
Low pulse, perhaps.
As an aside, did you talk to Aragon about today's session?
Yes.
Ah, good.
They specifically provided one of the first lines.
So Aragon's involvement was included for his return of character.
Yes.
So Aragon's been playing solo car. I don't think they've been that involved. As far as I'm aware, at least.
Let's see.
We can recap later. We should like get out of here, Brooke says.
It's nice of Eternatus to let us just have a conversation. Wonder what he's up to.
Oh, they aren't supposed to be out here. Oh, that's bad.
That's a bad roll right there.
Riley tries to keep track. He's like, it's kind of hard to see the bright light in the other bright light. Let's see if Lizard can help. Shit.
Also, I was curious.
Dumps
Was
an
there
entire
any
Elcon.
special interaction from using Synchronize at all? Or did that all happen to Tucker?
That already happened. Much better. Riley struggles to coordinate themselves to catch Liar. Lizard manages to dart forward and do so in Riley's stead. There really isn't a lot of place to go. Hey, old man, are you going to do anything about this? They gesture at Kamo. What would you have me do against a god?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I used Dragon Hammer on it earlier, and that seemed to do something.
As much an imposter would. You boast. Eternatus raises its head slowly. Crumbling and cracking noises sounding from its body as pieces right themselves. It seems to struggle to be contained in this space. Almost half of it appears to be trailing back into a dark void through a crumbling mirror. Its claws are dug into the ground, and there is a sound like chains slowly rattling. Return to us what is ours. Or know that our wrath shall be wrought surface ways. Contract made. Ironclad. Ne'er to be broken.
Breaking things is my specialty. Step forward.
Ralph, attorney at law. We'll break you out of the contract.
There's a rasping wind, probably what could account as a growl from Eternatus.
Contract. Rook asks Kamo, do you know what he's talking about?
I am afraid not. I am not privy to the private dealings of legendaries. They dare to glance up, only to immediately bring their head back down, feeling the gaze of Eternatus upon them. A deal was had. Prisoner eternal. To stem a tide of light and steel, and in return alone nevermore. That was life's side of our deal.
I hate to say it, but Team Q wasn't ever part of that deal, so we don't gotta play along now, do we?
If thou wouldst interfere, know that kept from what is ours rightfully so. Then ne'er shall we remain a prisoner.
One sec.
Yep, I'm pausing.
He got Don't you got plenty of prisoners back there? I mean, sure, you just make one of the others your buddy or whatever. Maybe if you treated them a little bit better, you'd have a friend. Maybe we wouldn't needed to rescue him if he was in a bit better shape. Maybe he wouldn't have wanted to go.
Alright, let's do it then.
Maybe you're just a bad friend. Should work on that.
Typical god, not wanting to play fair unless they lose.
Wait for the blue line to tap out so I can read it.
But hey, if I weren't still figuring out how my limbs worked and you didn't blind me, I would have finally gotten to punch a god.
Look at them. Wire looks barely alive, book says. Don't you think they could use a little fresh air? Do you even feed them?
Who art thou, little mortal, to say how we care for what is ours, for what has been given freely, a heartstring plucked? Return to us, dear liar, or as we did once long ago, a day as dark as night there shall be, extended 1,000 years.
What do you want to do? Rook looks at Liar.
Liar looks terrified, as if they are torn between sacrificing themselves for you and fleeing the prison they have been in. Lizard holds Liar and glares at Eternatus. I know a thing or two about bad masters. You don't deserve what you have. Pitiable half-thing. What know you of torment and masters?
Ralph cracks his neck. So that's about a new deal. You see, anything that can be given can be stolen, and we just stole it. But I got a new deal for you. You let this guy go free, and we don't give you a wallet.
Can you intimidate a god?
You can try if you want.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So let's get mechanical up in here. What you gonna do?
Can I chime in as well? That might help with the intimidate.
You all may do as you please, just let me know what you want to do.
Okay, because I had a line for Ryder to say.
I'm gonna fluff out my chest and get my intimidate going. Looking real.
So
I'm
Ryder
like-
will
I'm
step
like ready with
forward
my shield too.
next to Ralph.
Hmm.
Do you honestly believe you would be capable of such a thing? then no one would put a stop to you. You may have power, but you aren't the only one who does.
While Ralph figures out what his intimidate roll is going to be. Yeah, tough contest, intimidate, and... Yeah, tough contest, intimidate, and you have your shield to buff you.
Yeah.
Eternatus' sharp claws drag across the ground, carving furrows, as if it is keeping itself from being drawn back through the mirror.
I have quite the intimidation roll.
That is not a bad roll.
And, we're gonna... I only have one will left, though. If I expend my will, I'm passed out, aren't I?
Yeah. You're not very intimidating if you pass out.
Roar falls over.
Actually, it would be a pretty nasty roar. 5 plus the shield bonus, 6.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you to, roar. I assumed you were trying to intimidate with your words.
Yeah, intimidated with my words and my, Gustavo.
The lights of Eternatus' eyes narrow to pinpricks, focused on Rida. Fool, scholar. Thou thinkest you are saved by uncaring gods like myself. A deal is a deal made, and any who would interfere in re-establishing the contract, no consequences.
I rely not on gods, and I fear no death.
But thou speakest of deals, trespassers of mine domain, fleer of mine cells. Mortals who have escaped warden and prisoner both. Thou wouldst not be the only victims of mine condemnation. So perhaps a deal may be made.
What is your bargain?
My lord, please. If it is this liar you wish to take, surely we can come to an agreement. You need not silence. Bones erupt out of the earth and grasp around Kamo's limbs, dragging them down and prone. Our respect for your position only goes so far. Another servant may replace you. Check thy impertinence.
I'm sorry. This guy just told this dude, check yourself, check your privilege.
In a very
That's great.
draconic way, yes.
So continue.
What did I tell you? Typical god, not playing fair. As Riley tries to, yank the bones off of Kamo for the moment. Very well. A single year, and thereafter a fortnight's time each. It is this we are willing to release. the grasp upon our lyre. However, in return, we must have something of value. A soul for a soul. A warden for a prisoner. They drag themselves forward ever so slightly, inch by inch.
A soul for a soul. Yeah, something comes to mind. I don't know if I should say that.
I'll let Kyrio type.
So, explain what his proposition was. I was somewhat confused.
He will explain plainly in a minute.
Okay.
A vacation for Lyre in exchange for a babysitter? What exactly would your warden need to do?
We have never known an acolyte. And thus our warden would be distributor of retribution, of justice needed. Thou thinkest me some cruel ruler. Hast thou not stopped to consider in those cells? They tilt their heads slightly. All of you feel a chill running through your bodies as their skeletal face seems to grin. What havoc might be wreaked when prisoners rightfully jailed are set free?
So would you have considered us rightfully jailed? I mean, I guess we do wreak a little havoc.
Yes.
But, going back to a soul for a soul, he puts his hands together. If it's a soul you need, who can dispense vengeance, I know someone with two. And I will glance back at Riley. And I've been rolling this around in my head for a while. I'm sure they would love their own body. You have enough power for that, don't you?
You leave me and Tiber out of this, Ralph. I don't want whatever's going on with this guy. You're big enough for two souls. Give him half of you. You speak much, but you do not have what I ask, and we cannot touch the other. Burn as they do. But to among you, we offer a choice. They extend one skeletal claw towards Rida. Anguish long gone, but vengeance burns. And one in need of retribution, yet remains free. And another extends towards Tucker. Pain, hidden and buried, stifled by surroundings. But thou knowest what is needed, what remains just outside thy grasp.
Rida will glance at Tucker and think for a moment before stepping forward. Very well. However, I have a condition. Above all else, my mistress comes first. And that is not negotiable.
To put a pause on the roleplay, Eternatus is pointing out the 2 party members who have suffered at the hands of others.
I thought that was everybody. It's so weird.
And could most use that suffering to mete out justice deserved. Eternatus is the Lord of Condemnation for a reason.
So what you're saying is, you know that we know someone who deserves to be locked up forever with you.
Can Tucker say a line?
Yeah, of course.
If I may interrupt. Everybody's doing really well with responses. I didn't want to interrupt too much, but... Okay. Tucker's ears, even as he was wincing and more or less just closing his eyes and looking very conflicted and exhausted with something clearly unsaid during this whole time, nonetheless his ears pivot and he's been staying attentive to the conversation, quiet as he may be. When Eternatus points him out, though, he does finally respond.
It doesn't matter how much pain any of us has felt. It's not right to do wrong to others, even if they do wrong to you. Justice is not something one person can figure out. Not by themselves. Not even a god.
He says that last line with a bit of bitterness.
Oh. And thou thinkest thyself better.
No.
What atrocities need be committed?
Maybe there's reasons to jail some people. Some Pokemon may deserve it. But it isn't for one person to decide. Never is.
He winces and turns his head towards Lyre, seeming to struggle to look at the Sawsbuck. And then he looks to the rest of his party.
And I can definitely see that while you may have reason to jail some, you definitely make the wrong decisions for that too.
What is this paltry display? Thou thinkest us perfect, flawless. This seems to confuse Eternatus greatly. Our judgment is to the best of our power. We do not expect more of our servants, though some may proclaim otherwise. A note of bitterness rings in their own voice.
Look, I think you have your answer from Tubby Squirrel. He looks at Rhino. Are you sure about this?
You have reason to protect Lyre, so it matters to me. What matters to you is utmost important. And so I will sacrifice everything if it means your happiness.
A true executor. How lucky thou is. So willing upon. Almost shameful they associate with denizens of destruction. One last thing before thy choices are made. You wish to know why we jail you?
Tucker glances up at that.
Because you are bound to the death in the sky. We fought many of your kind, ages past. Such was the deal, to forestall the flood of light and steel, to strike down the ascendant, and to thwart the star that darkens the sky.
So we have a common enemy then. Yeah. Because, we were thinking about giving that star a bad time as well. This is interesting. It would look as if Ralph is making 1,000 calculations a minute with some of this new information.
Just the galaxy brain math meme.
I know why. You're afraid of us. But imprisoning us before we committed the crime, that's just prejudice.
Is it prejudice when we have evidence 1,000 times? They claw forward, looming heavily over the group. Those who thought themselves the stronger, the better, only to fall again. Who is to say thy bones will be different from the rest?
Maybe an insurance policy. I mean, you're a god, right? You can give us some sort of mark that'll kill us if we join their side, right?
Tucker actually steps up one more time.
You said I thought I.
Oh God! I'm doing that kid. I'm doing that kid that did the interview. Hold on a second. Okay. That you could do anything. Okay, let me try that again. Tucker notes something from earlier.
You said that I thought better than you because I made a suggestion against what you did. No, I don't know better than you. And I'm not stronger than you. None of us are. We're not strong. But that's not the point. We know what we can do and what we can't. We know our limitations. That's why we're stronger. As weird as it may sound.
Riley quips from in the back. You know, for having 5 heads, you sure rule with 1 brain cell. There's a tepid slapping noise as Lizard, ? Tries to get Riley to be quiet for the moment.
As an aside, it's really hard to say some things actually as Tucker.
I totally get it. Speaking as writer, sometimes I'm just like, words.
This is why I type everything out first.
I guess I'll OOC say that Tucker has pointed out that... Because he's noticing the flaw in Eternatus' thing. He said Eternatus was wrong, and Eternatus was like, and you think you're right? No, that's not what Tucker said at all.
No, Eternatus was confused why you thought their logic was perfect.
Ah. I did
And
not
their
read into
response was literally, "Oh no, the legendaries aren't perfect, but some of them think they are."
Interesting.
I'm surprised for that I'm surprised by that logical take, actually. That
I know they speak weird, so it can get confusing.
I may have not understood it completely. Then again, that's fine. In character, I doubt Tucker would have either.
At least he can recognize you not flawless.
And I mean, it is obvious that he does, and it's also he also thinks he's trying to do the right thing, which, you know, he's a jerk, but yeah, he's not evil, or at least not in his view.
None of us asked to be here. We just wanted to help out a friend. Holding us responsible for the past only hinders our ability to even try to make a positive effect on the future.
And yet, still you steal the one light in my prison. We digress. The choice is made. Step forth. Henceforth thou art mine acolyte. And henceforth thou shalt be subject to mine orders.
Ryder will kneel. Very well.
Defy if thou wishest. Question if you can. But never allow injustice to slip by. Thus our first command. They reach a claw out, and they slide it beneath Ryda's hair. And while none of you can see, it barely hovers over the eye. And upon it they leave a mark. It is done. Tread not within our vein again. Unless thou seekest to return our lyre. And I'll let Kyrio finish typing.
I don't have anything to say anymore.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The bones around Kamo releasing and slowly sink back into the earth. Not before Riley manages to kick one halfway across the cave, of course. And Eternatus begins to sink back through the mirror, bit by bit. We shall be watching. Do not forget. Out of character side note, yay, I managed to avoid altering a character's appearance.
Oh, I would have been all for Ryder getting an alternate appearance.
You
Give
have
him a
yet
cool
to
scar.
you have yet to evolve. You have a scar, it's called your broken horns.
Yeah, but more battle scars are cool. They tell
Yeah,
a
I
story.
agree.
Yeah, but keeping your art up to date.
I don't
Yeah,
get
do
enough
it.
scars either.
Gotta do a thing. How many people here have marks? Because now we're getting... So, Rita has Eternatus. Who has Mewtwo's?
Everyone has Mewtwo besides me.
Everyone has Mewtwo's. Mewtwo's does not do anything special besides Mewtwo being able to snoop.
Well, I think it's special, so...
Aw,
Alright, I have a
Mewtwo
thing.
would appreciate that.
I'm
Also,
sure
to me,
Mewtwo
those
has
are
a
just
different
like
place.
squares.
As he's getting the mark, I kind of tap where a communicator would be. I wonder if Mewtwo's watching this right now. He can see what a
Probably.
good job we're doing.
Here, have this.
Oh wow, that's spooky.
It's tilted wrong. There you go.
Nice.
I feel like the mark could be put next to the portrait, is what I was thinking. I'm not done. I was doing side stuff. Also, I do apologize if I stumbled through that conversation. Yeah, I think Eternatus is really hard for me to understand.
Yeah, it's okay.
Trust
To
me,
be
it's
fair,
fine.
Tucker has a lot going on that you don't even know about yet. So he was, yeah.
I'm
little
I'm
exhausted.
surprised there wasn't an "ugh, my eyes" moment.
You didn't feel it was appropriate timing, despite he was suffering alone, and also I guess you're spoiling it. All right. So what? I'll bring it up soon though. All right, there you go. Everybody had a mark, even right ahead of Mewtwo's thing. All
I
right.
didn't have a Mewtwo mark.
I didn't think you did. Okay, I was right.
I turned
oh,
it
right.
down.
Yeah, Rita did not need one.
Yep. So I knew somebody turned it down, so I figured it was probably Rita. Okay. There we
However,
go.
this mark does come with something since it's from Eternatus.
Yeah, it's an important mark. Also, I think you
Yep.
didn't have a choice, so in this situation.
Well, y'all had a choice. It was just between the two of you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Wasn't gonna throw Tucker under the bus.
Plus,
Tucker
I
had
think
a chance of accepting
what
it.
was Eternatus' thing for Tucker basically? You've had a lot of pain. Why don't you exact it and be my warden? Was that basically what he was saying?
Get vengeance.
Vengeance. Yeah, I think that word was used.
Yeah. Eternatus knows specifically what happened to Tucker.
Well, he doesn't know Tucker well enough to know that Tucker doesn't do vengeance.
Well, yeah, but you know that's outside his purview.
I see. It is good to know
Right
his
is okay with
limitations.
vengeance.
See, that's where they differ.
Yeah. Ride is probably the best place for this.
Yeah, I mean the primal place. You mean? Are they still primal? They're still. Or...
Yeah.
They are still currently.
I see.
That's why they were so bold in the face of Eternatus.
I see.
I didn't need primal points to help me be bold in the face of him. I'm just a reckless lunatic.
I mean, I'm rash. I should get a pass on that.
No, right is Batman.
More like Spawn.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that takes out.
Tucker's docility is part of the reason. Is that a word, docility? It should be. Is part of the reason that vengeance and revenge is not really his motif. But also, he has the understanding of two wrongs don't make a right.
Brick size. Well, that went better than expected, honestly.
I feel like Iron Man's the closest to Ralph, which kind of bites because Iron Man's Tony's kind of an asshole, but Ralph is too sometimes. So
Kamo just heaves out a sigh and puts a hand over their face. I should not be surprised, those of you who are were able to contend with Tiber are so flagrant in the face of such odds. Good to see you too, Kamo.
Yeah, we handled it great. We did a good job.
Luxray. Oh, good to see you. Your daughters came by before this pair. That's surprising. Yes. One did not take the trial. The other failed. Last they said they were headed home. I would assume that means sea spray. Ah. I see.
Brooke smiles apologetically at Kamo. Sorry, we'd have popped up somewhere else. But Riley picked now to finally grow up.
Hey!
Tucker
Okay, I am totally mature now, though.
Tucker adds...
Same here.
Tucker-
Here. I'm totally mature.
Yes, very true.
Y'all are a bunch of kids.
Tucker adds to the statement, though, looking towards Riley, though, it's clear if anybody's actually looking at Tucker that something's wrong, or perhaps familiarly wrong with him. He kind of winces and expresses,
Really, it was kind of my fault, if anything. I just needed to get us out of there, and, well, Riley, you're the best connection I could think of. That I could feel.
I mean, I should be touched, but also I'm trying to avoid saying that I feel like you had a dozen other better choices, and they immediately get nudged by Lizard's elbow. I mean, that's really sweet of you, Tucker. And Riley walks over, or he does stumble a couple times, because he's still kind of getting used to his limbs, but he walks over and gives Tucker a pat. That wasn't too hard, right? Just a light pat, which might be a bit heavier than intended.
Unfortunately, it does seem like Tucker might actually stumble to that pat, though it seems less due to the strength of it, and more due to the fact this pupper is absolutely exhausted. Let's see here. I guess I actually should switch.
Yes, at this point, Ryda can safely pass out. Danger is gone.
Yes. Ryda abruptly turns around and then leans on Ralph and sort of passes out.
Are you alright, son?
There's a song about this, but I can't sing it. I don't remember the words. Pat her on the head.
Go ahead, Brooke.
Are you alright, Tub? That must have been a toll on you.
Tucker looks up properly to you all now. Actually face you guys. And also, sorry, I don't have an updated version of this besides this, but it's notable to see that he's struggling to look at anybody or anything, really. And his eyes have a familiar blackness to them. Both of them do, in fact.
Yep.
I think I did get a bit of a toll. I can't see normally anymore. In either eye. It's like that other time.
It's very clear he's having a lot of sensitivity just looking around right now.
Brooke will look to Kamo and say, sorry, do you think we could rest here for a while?
Well, I wasn't exactly going to send you out into the plains, now am I? You realize there are people, Pokemon, who say that you're too kind, right? I am aware. But it is my job to be hospitable.
Brooke will actually kneel down and pick Tucker up.
Aw. Tucker is submissive to this action. He definitely doesn't seem to mind being carried around a bit right now.
Thanks, Kamo.
He also expresses.
We can go to... events 135.
135 for bits? Okay, hold on.
Yep. Because Cave of Mirrors is rather boppy.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome, young pup. At this rate, I'm going to have some sort of pantry installed. Dad, is it safe to come out now? Yes, yes. I'm just lucky that Zeal wasn't here. Wait, Zeal's gone? Yes. For now. I trusted them enough to go get some berries. Oh dear. I'm sure it's fine.
Zeal came back.
God's gonna be so jealous he missed a god.
He is a god.
I will tell him how we beat him up and made him agree to our terms.
I get the distinct feeling you shouldn't tell Zeal any of that, otherwise he's going to be upset and then go try to fight something he shouldn't.
If he sticks with us, he's gonna end up doing that anyway.
I mean, yeah.
We're pretty good at fighting things we shouldn't. Which is why that guy shouldn't be worried. We're gonna fight whatever's on the dead star or whoever's in control of it, or Yeah, I mean, I know we will. So I don't know why you're so worried.
Ralph be like, I looked at the script. We're gonna get there.
Getting meta. Gee, Ralph, don't sound like you're out of a bad fiction novel.
No, I'm out of the best fiction novel. As a matter of fact, I made an amendment to a fiction novel while I was there. There's the tower.
I'm not even gonna ask. So, what now? Is Liz going to carry the deer forever?
Nah, the deer's gonna wake up and, maybe it'll train, they'll train Florence in some new songs. Florence seems to really respect them. Didn't really get an opportunity to ask who they were, like what their significance exactly was, only that Eternatus really wanted them to stay. Mostly we were just running.
I think the most immediate goal is to get everybody in bed.
Well,
At least as comfortable as possible.
I apologize. I don't exactly have bedding enough for all of you, but... Well... My old scales aren't going to be hurt, but staying a little bit longer. Kamo, why don't you go find Zeal? I'll show everyone to where they can rest, for now. If it's alright with you, I would rather keep guard. And Luxray just ends up turning into Luxray Loaf right where they are. They just tuck their feet in. But Kamo will lead those of you who are conscious, anyway. Oh hey, I can change the state.
You can.
There we go. Because this is where we were previously. He leads those of you who are conscious to a familiar resting area, though unfortunately there isn't a whole lot of space enough for all of you. He makes it a point to at least drag those who are unconscious to the comfortable moss bedding.
I'll lay down. Yeah, I think I'm more comfortable than that.
Tucker will accept being put anywhere by Brooke. He is just kind of completely limp in Brooke's arms and just kind of resting rather snugly against his belly right now, honestly. It's very clear that if this was Tucker from a few months ago, he probably would be one of the fainted parties right now. As much as he may not feel it sometimes, he has gotten stronger. Especially in his abilities.
Yeah, Brooke will probably sit Tucker down in one of the beds.
Tucker looks grateful, and it doesn't take long for him to actually pass right out. Probably less than a minute.
Tucker and Mom bed can share a bed. They're small enough.
Riley makes a snarky comment about there not being enough beds, and something about Ralph's butt being too big.
Hey, I may take up as much as 4 beds, but he's flexibility. I double as an extra bed. Not for you, though.
Why would I want to sleep on you? I have a lizard. Lizard blushes.
Good argument.
Adorable.
Indeed. It takes a little while, but Hakamo comes back and has to repeatedly shush Zeal as they return with a haul of berries, and it appears as though Hakamo brought some dry grasses from the plains as well. It's not enough to make terribly much bedding, but it's something to lay your heads on at least. Question. Who is going to, pass out more immediately?
Well, obviously Tucker first. Not counting the fainted parties.
Yeah, Brooke will probably stay awake for most.
Also, it looks like we're getting our cat back, so I'm gonna pull him out. There we go.
Surprisingly, Zeal knows how to have a quiet inside voice.
What? He's growing up. He's got that chest fluff now.
How many episodes have we been away from Zeal, actually? I'm just, thinking about that.
Well, ever since we left for Sea Spray. Actually, before we left the gallantry, I think. Because we sent him out on a different mission.
I want to say Zeal went with me to evolve.
That's true.
They did.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he did accompany
Yeah.
you. You know what Zeal feels like to me? He feels like if you're playing an RPG, and there's some temporary party member that only stays with you for a bit, but you glitch the game or skip the end of the event so you just can keep them for most of it. Or the whole adventure. That's what Zeal feels like to me.
That doesn't seem inaccurate to some extent, but Zeal is your party member.
I mean, we do have an official reason to have it.
Of course. Oh, I'm pointing out that the reason people do that is mostly because they're endeared to the temporary party member and want them to stick around. So, it's a compliment. Yeah.
Kamo walks around just to check on everybody. You came a long way. The nearest place I know to get to the Dragon's Path is in the mountains.
We entered near Sea Spray, actually.
Yes. There are other places, of course, but that is the one I know of. I am surprised you went that far. But I suppose that's just how you all do things.
We just wanted to ask the library for help.
Kamo was starting to pick up on our vibe, I see.
He's been through this before. Yes, well, I can see you obtained it, in spades, no less. Although I fear for poor Hatterene.
Well, I feel pretty bad about dragging her into it too.
Unfortunately, there's little I can do but offer you a place to rest. Unless you felt like trying your hand at a trial again. They smirk at Brooke and chuckle in that knowing old man way.
He kind of looks over at the mirrors for a bit, and then shakes his head. I don't think now is the right time.
I thought as much. But I can't help but have a jab here and there.
Brooke smiles.
It comes with the typing. And as for you, Rav, why don't you rest your head? Hmm?
Yeah. That was quite the adventure.
Aye. Florence would probably be singing your praises about now and thinking up a few new songs if he were conscious. Thank goodness
Or
he
you
isn't.
might be yelling at me.
Maybe. But I must ask before you two turn in. Who is Lyre?
Rug. I honestly don't know. We got separated, our group got separated, and when we were unseparated, they had rescued him, so I figured, we are a rescue team after all.
We're technically not a rescue team, yeah.
We stole the license for that. No.
Oh, Lucario doesn't flop.
I'm gonna have to set this up.
So they take a knee? That's kind of neat, actually. Random reminder that, just for the characters that are actually awake, random reminder that it's very clear that Florence did know of Lyre by his judging by reactions he made.
Yeah, Lucario are too stoic to sleep. They just crouch and wait.
they just always have a fucking espresso. Too stoic to sleep.
Oh gosh, now I'm just imagining a coffeeed up Lucario vibrating.
Right.
Have Aura Sphere Gatling gun.
I don't really know. I don't really know who they are. They don't seem to speak our language. All I know is that they were someone that looked out of place in a prison and needed to be rescued, Rick says.
Ralph nods a bit. And Florence seems to know who they are. Seemed to have a really lot of respect for him, too. He might know more when he comes to.
If that bard will share the tale. I know for a fact that he knows far more than he likes to tell. It might be an old legend. But they were important to Eternatus. Enough that they broke their own imprisonment. You don't do that for anyone.
Mid-conversation, Ralph's like, alright, sleeping.
It's on brand.
I'm just laying down. Plus, I'm a Snorlax, I can sleep anywhere, basically.
True.
It's true. You're your own bed.
Or that. Or bed, yeah.
All these wars of what might have been and what might.
Can I just say, I'm impressed that as hard as Tucker pushed himself, he's never actually added himself a primal point.
Yet.
Yeah.
Because you haven't gone unconscious except for, like, the once.
But it was like a special unconscious during the Ghost episode, right? I think it was. And I think I specifically... No?
I think you got a primal point in, Mistress Salazzle's dungeon, but you got rid of it at the spot.
Yeah. Oh, right. The swap fixed it. What happened to the Ghost thing? Because I'm pretty sure Tucker did go unconscious after the Ghost thing.
You did, but you didn't go primal.
But I think I directly asked if that was a primal situation, and you were like, no.
You kind of have to choose to stay up.
Right.
To get a primal point.
And I believe it. That time I also dictated, there might be times when I just say, no, you can't stay up.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm. You don't know the relationship, Rook says, but Lyre definitely wanted to be let out. I could just ignore that. If that ends up making me the bad guy, then that's fine. Bugs.
I don't believe you did something wrong. Trust me. I know a thing or two about doing something wrong. Whatever their bond may be, it is not for us to question. Just know that you've done the right thing. We can worry when we've the energy for it. I shall see that they are comfy.
Brooke nods. Thank you, Kamo.
Anytime, young gator. Night passes over you all, unseen and unknown except for those who happen to be close enough to the entrance to see it. exhaustion taking your bodies, that you might recover. Which means that everyone should refill their will.
Thank goodness.
If there's a body of water in or nearby the cavern. I believe I said there was like a puddle or something at one point in the cavern.
Brooke just lays it. Brooke's chunky body just lays in a small puddle. He's like, "This'll do."
I'm sorry, this is mean, but I just imagine Brooke seeing that, flopping face first into it and blowing bubbles, even though it's only like half an inch deep.
Works for me.
Refill HP too.
Yes.
Okay.
Also refill HP.
Figured like it normally would be that, but I didn't hear it, so I didn't do it.
Y'all are still gonna be sore.
So, oh, no kidding. And Tucker's got his own health problems to worry about besides HP.
Yeah. His eyes.
It's very questionable to call them health problems, though. I don't know. I don't know what you'd call them.
The light, it burns. Don't worry, Riley's going through the same thing, kind of.
Oh, I was wondering about the blindfold, yeah.
Yeah, Riley's aura senses got a huge boost, and currently he can't fine-tune them, so it sucks.
That's actually kind of ironic. Yeah, they ironically have a similar sensitivity going on.
Yeah, they're both blind as heck.
Blinded by the light.
Cue Riley going, I'm not blind, I can just see too much.
In which case you were blinded by the light.
Riley sees in 4K.
Maybe something to bond on in glimpses.
He sees us. We all see in like the anime vision, but Riley looks around and we all look like the Detective Pikachu models, which were really good, by the way.
They were. Right then. Who wants to wake up first, or do we want to roll to see who wakes up when?
We could roll.
I'm just gonna say that Tucker wakes up when somebody wakes him up.
I got a 3.
That's fair.
Reasonable. Checks out.
Checks
Alright.
out. Wakes up with Apple.
Ralph. No, sorry, Ryda. Ryda, you awaken first. The cavern is as dimly lit as ever. Although glowing moss and the occasional crystal will help. You feel strange. I'll let you determine what kind of strange you think it is.
Strange based off of the mark, or strange based off of getting out of primal state?
Yes.
Alright, because both of those, I think I would take them in different directions. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, your brain is tearing itself in two directions. Sounds like a headache.
I'd say Ryda wakes up feeling, one, a bit confused just of the events that happened and disappointed in themselves. Feeling
So
like,
it's like a hangover.
they weren't fully in control at the time.
A really bad hangover.
They will get up, look at the rest, and sort of just head through the cave, not awakening anyone, trying to be alone, just looking at themselves through the reflections as they walk.
You can hear in another chamber elsewhere in the cave, Kamo and what is likely Hakamo and Seal. Apparently they're making food of some description. Probably doing the hospitable host thing and making breakfast. Or lunch? Dinner? Hard to tell in here. There's no artificial sun like there is in the tower. No clocks.
Ryder's going to try and to stealthily avoid them, or as quiet as they can. Just trying to keep themselves isolated at the moment.
Fair.
Right. I suddenly left. Sorry about that. The dogs came up to me and said, "Hey, yo, your game's got to be paused. We gotta go outside."
Oh, you're fine. We were having a ride a moment.
It's all good.
And they said it just like that too. They didn't even bark.
Huh.
Interesting dogs you have. Well, Ryder, you don't have terribly much trouble sneaking around at the moment. There aren't very many Pokemon up and about here. And it's relatively quiet. Pardon me. There is the occasional drip of water. But other than that, you are left to look at the reflections in peace.
As Ryder looks into one of the reflections, sort of just staring at it, they sort of lift up their hair to see the mark. And as they do, a flicker of the reflection changes for a moment, showing them covered in a red substance that lasts for a few seconds, and then disappears.
I'm sorry, you were a bit muffled in the last half.
Which part? Sorry. Where did it cut off?
Looking at the mark, and then I could not hear the rest.
So after looking at the mark, they get a flash, sort of in the reflection of themselves covered in a red substance that lasts for a brief second before disappearing, causing them to step back in shock.
Strawberry jam, I'm sure.
Oh, what was it again?
A red substance.
A red substance, okay.
After seeing that, they avoid looking at any more reflections.
Huh. That's all that they saw? Interesting.
It was them covered in a red substance.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Ketchup. Yeah, ketchup disaster.
Red YouTube. So if it's what it's most obviously implied, some YouTubers call it red YouTube guidelines goop.
That's a very awkwardly long name for it, but alright.
It's guideline scoop. Clearly.
And it spreads red YouTube guidelines everywhere.
Wonderful.
It's funny because he was like as part of his whole personality, and his voice helps, and it's great. Funny.
So, as you're looking, turning away from your reflection and starting to avoid the mirrors, out of the corner of your eye, you do notice a silhouette standing behind you in the mirrors. It seems to watch you move.
Ryder does give a little glance just to see if the figure is there.
It is. It's bipedal. It has a vague enough shape that it's difficult for you to tell what it should be. But it is watching you. And it's certainly not Eternatus spying on you, at the least. You don't think.
Are you truly there? Ryder will ask.
The shadow in the mirror gives no answer.
I suppose I am more broken than I thought. No matter. And then they will turn away.
And it's around this time that Brooke and Ralph will wake up.
Oh, it's a great dream.
Are we safe? Noibet asks, blinking bleary eyes.
Yeah, nope, they caught us. We're back in the cell. Fucking with you. Nah, we beat them up real good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, it was easy peasy. We made a trade. We got to keep the prisoner, and we didn't have to fight him. And in exchange, right, his indentured servant.
What? Wait, what's
Yeah,
that?
something like that. I'm being a smartass, right as his acolyte now.
Oh. That does not make me feel any better.
Anywho, we're back in the Maze of Mirrors. Or Maze of Mirrors. Cave of Mirrors. I guess it is an amazing cave, so it's like a Maze of Mirrors because it's amazing.
Just as Kamo manages to pop his head in. To be fair, if you keep looking at all the mirrors, it'll look like a maze.
That sounds like fun. I'm gonna like position myself so that as many Ralphs are in my vision as possible. An army of Ralphs here to conquer the world. Could you imagine a society ruled by an army of Ralphs?
Arceus, help us all. That's okay, Kyrie.
Attention, citizens! It is time for the daily joke. You will laugh, or there will be punishment.
Oh god, he's Kefka. Is there anything Red is doing, by the way? As they're moving away from the mirrors.
They're sort of just stumbling around, walking through the cave. Nothing in particular. Just sort of thinking to themselves.
Going on a bit of a pacing.
Yeah. Sort of like going for a walk when you have stuff on your mind.
Yeah. Something that is helpful to do when you have stuff on your mind, and I should do it more often, honestly.
Well, as you wander, Ryda, you will get to see that, yes, in another chamber, Zeal and Hakamo are trying to divvy up food as evenly as possible. Although Zeal clearly is trying to obtain a larger portion, because he is that awesome and also helped to get the food.
There's a lot of people here to feed if everyone wants food. It's a bit of a full house up in here.
But then again, they must also be a gracious ruler, and will forego taking a larger portion in order to have a smaller portion, so others may have more. Because that's the right thing to do.
Aw.
This gets them a pat on the head. Rook yawns and sits up. I feel like I was hit by a speeding ride-on. I didn't know ride-on could learn extreme speed. Burke just gives Kamo a withering look. Relax, relax. Levity. It's important at a time like this. Don't you think? A smile, waving a bit dismissively.
Oh, yeah, levity is important. Unfortunately, we're all out of our levity cake.
How do you know that?
So good. I gotta get that recipe.
So Ralph apparently rummaged through Tucker's bag at some point because he didn't actually know. Tucker ate the rest of those when Ralph wasn't there. So now the canon is just Ralph is probably just rummaging in Tucker's bag for those extra cakes because he was hungry.
I thought he like announced that he was out of them
I think he announced it before he rejoined the main group.
before we met up.
Yeah. So now the headcanon is that you were just looking for food. That's how you know.
Ask me again when I've had breakfast, Brooke says, shuffling towards the smell of breakfast. Well, luckily enough for all of you, there's just enough for most of us to eat our fill, I think. They give a glance toward Ralph.
Ralph chuckles a bit. I can see why you would look at me, but honestly, I'm not as hungry as I was as of Munchlax ever since I evolved. And he pats his belly, it's really nice to not be starving all the time.
It sounds nice, at least. And I see that two are still being lazy bones. While I have qualms about awakening Adarine, he walks over and then just lifts Florence by a leg and starts dragging him.
Oh, drop him in the puddle.
Now that's just rude to Brooke. That was his pillow. But yes, if y'all go out to find breakfast, you will find in another chamber that there are portions of cutberry and a bit of greenery that can be eaten. Sadly, no meat. There's even some edible moss and a few edible mushrooms that are available, but those have been sort of set off to the side for those who may not wish to have them.
I was definitely interested in it. But Ralph will let the smaller denizens eat first. There are quite a few people.
Food, is it? Oh, remind me to thank you. Great bag of scales. Yes, and good morning to you too, Bard.
Yeah. So, what'd you think of your... This was Florence's first adventure with us, right?
I think that was a question card.
Bit more than I was looking for, personally speaking. But I can't say it wasn't what I asked for.
Yeah, it's the thing about adventures. You think you're just going to, fetch some redwood logs, but then you have to sharpen the axe, and then you have to, get a third dance partner for this, ring of gnomes that are doing a crime lord thing, and it just goes into this whole thing. And I'm gonna stop now because no one is gonna understand the reference. It always starts out as one small favor. And that's how the quest typically goes.
Why, I've seen it multiple times before. Perhaps too many times to count over in misquoting it, if we're being honest. Well, that's the way the life goes. But... food. And then he pops a berry slice in his mouth. Luxray also pads in and immediately puts something in his mouth to avoid talking, because I don't want to voice Luxray right now.
Diegetic.
Also, I would like to say at this point, Ryda has made their way to the entrance of the cave and is just sitting there.
Guess they're not hungry.
Sorry?
Ryda made their way to the entrance of the cave and is just sitting there.
Oh.
Just gotta move them ways to make it more obvious they're alone.
I'm being told I sound high.
I haven't had a chance to say so, but you're looking better, Brooke says to Kamo. Ah. Thank you. It's not been a pleasant recovery, but I have no regrets. Better that I help you and break a rule or two. Oh, you're breaking the rules now, are you? I don't need to hear it from you, Florence. Oh, but I would love to hear all about it from you, Mr. Guardian. Bah. I guess I can relate to that, Brooke says. We really can't thank you enough. Well, you certainly brought plenty of excitement in my life. More than I could normally hope for at my age. Besides, you've helped make my son happy. Hakamo trying to say something with her mouth full.
It's where the chat with your neck full keen.
Is Liar still asleep?
Oh, see.
Darn it!
No quotes.
No, they aren't. I was about to say, right as you just sort of stand away from the others. Liar approaches you. And they settle down beside you and look apologetic.
Rido will look at Lyre, somewhat confused as to why they are here, but not complaining about it. Did you not wish to be with the others?
They shake their head.
I understand. You are free to sit with me if you would like.
So I'm curious, did Ryda go to the entrance of the Cave of Mirrors, like to the outside?
Yes,
Oh.
like they are sitting looking outwards.
Hey, what tab has the song? It's events 2, right?
I think I'll need more details to that. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for Liars.
Oh, Liar's theme? Oh, okay, hold on.
Nothing to hear here. Darn you.
Do. I'm thinking of it's 2. Yeah, that sounds right. Let's see. I'm actually trying to remember the song. I think there was like a couple. Which one did you want? Did you want Melody of Balm? 3536?
Yes. 35.
Okay.
Because as Lyre looks out at the wilderness, they start to sing. And as they sing, the strings on their horns seem to pluck themselves. And the notes ring clear across the wilderness, like the wind. And they echo down into the cave. And they bring with them a sense of calm, of relief, invigorating those aching in soul, soothing the pained and the stressed.
Thank you, Lyre.
As you look over to thank them, Rida, you notice that flowers have begun to blossom around them. They are small and scarlet, with stems and leaves of white, but they are flowers all the same.
They're growing on him or on the ground?
On the ground around them.
Okay. If that is the case, Rida will pluck one of the flowers and just look at it closely.
It's a faint and fragile thing. If it weren't solid, you would be certain it would just fade away, like a dimming lantern in the dark. But the color is vibrant, and although the normally green parts are stark white, they're firm enough not to crumble beneath your touch.
Rida will extend their hand out and let it fly into the breeze.
It scatters in pieces, carried much like the melodic notes across the wind, out to who knows where.
It is rather odd being here. I have watched this place since my first fighting of Brooke and the others. But being here is a different experience.
As you ponder, Katarine seems to glide up behind you. You sense them long before they reach you. It appears as though we are a bit off course.
It appears so. Though I doubt it is much of an issue with these folks. They seem to be enlightened by adventure.
It is their freedom. It allows them to do as they wish.
Freedom. Perhaps one day I will experience it the way they do.
The freedom to be. The freedom to change. To feel. Perhaps one day you shall be as they are. I very much look forward to that day.
At least someone does. To me, that day seems impossible, nor do I dream of it. Merely a possibility, and one that I can live without.
Perhaps you should start dreaming of it. Maybe then it would come easier.
It has been a long time since I've ever dreamt. I've almost forgotten what it's like.
A side effect, of course. But one that may abate in time.
One can only hope.
I suppose I ought to wake the last of them. We still have some distance to go if we are to hit Sea Spray in good time.
I suppose I should return as well.
Stay, if you wish. It appears as though this one has taken a liking to you.
Ryder will turn to look at Lyre to see what kind of expression they have.
They don't seem to be regarding Ryda particularly, but they are looking out at the world with a deep fondness. Like someone who has finally gotten to meet an old, long-lost friend.
I suppose I should stay. Would be rude of me to leave now. And perhaps Lyre can help me dream.
We can also swap to the instrumental version now, which is 36, which is also easier to talk over.
Good moment to say that because the melody version had just reached the end of that.
Yeah, it was just at the end of the loop.
That was a good time.
Okay. Perhaps. Maybe if we are lucky, they will help us in our task. I fear where we are going. I may have difficulties. I will lean upon you. If that is not outside bounds.
You have helped me severely. The least I can do is repay the favor.
Katarine dips their head in a nod and drifts back within the cavern. She goes to where Tucker is still sleeping and gently nudges them with her hit hand.
Tucker has actually already began to waken, in fact. Lyre's song has reached his ears, and his hearing is still as good as ever. He wakes up despite clearly still squinting due to his vision, which has remained the same. He looks positive. It seems the music has helped him wake up well. He looks to Hatterene, actually, and
Oh, I'm glad you're okay, Hatterene. I wasn't sure how you were doing with all this.
Good morrow, Tucker. I am well. Though that recovery is in part due to the one named Lyre. I can see why Eternatus was so keen on keeping them.
Tucker nods.
I may not be as attuned to emotions as you are, but I feel what you're talking about as well.
He pauses a moment and expresses,
They really can play beautifully.
Indeed. But for now, let us go fast with the others. We will need energy. After all, this is a distance from Sea Spray, is it not?
Tucker collects himself, looking and trying to adjust to his vision even now.
The Cave of Mirrors isn't close at all. I'm sorry if we took us in the wrong direction.
You took us out. That was all we needed. Even were we on another continent, it would be easier to reach Sea Spray than were we still within the Dragon's Path. At the least, within Eternatus' domain.
Tucker smiles a little and nods at that.
Yeah, I guess out was the most important part.
And with that, Tucker will note Hattering's statement and feel a grumble in his tummy. Yes, he does need some energy. He will go to find where the food is.
Hattering will follow. It's not hard to find the crowded quote-unquote kitchen area where everyone is consuming bits of food.
I love you, but I'm really...
Although, nearby, Lizard and Riley are still passed out, with Riley just laying their head on Lizard's shoulder.
Tucker does a polite little waggle towards everyone. He's walking slowly, his vision being half used right now. But he does help himself to some of the available food and get himself feeling a bit better. Let's see.
Sea Spray is equally as far from Sea Spray as Serpentone is as the crow flies. I'm sorry. I shouldn't poke fun. I knew what you meant, but that's still funny.
Tucker does
yes.
actually... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, you are effectively correct. As the crow flies, they are equidistant.
Car, it might be good to go over Tucker's vision again. It has been quite a while since he's had this effect.
Yes. So, Tucker's, for lack of a better word, corrupted vision, or dark vision, or whatever you want to name it. Life sight? It's not aura, but it is a measure of life forces. And your eyes are also incredibly sensitive to light at the moment. And while you can get a measure of living things, non-living things, not so much. So it does help that Hatterene is there, because the Cave of Mirrors doesn't look like a whole lot to you. Outside of the occasional, like, bits of white highlight from the dim lighting here and there.
Yes, his normal vision is very gimped. What was the location 14? Because I have the images here. Which one was it that you said it was closest to?
Oh, in 11?
Yeah,
it was closest to... Oh, shoot. It had a name.
Primivian, that's it. Found
yeah,
it.
the Primivian.
So, just to provide a random image for people's reference point, you know?
Yes.
Because again, it has been quite a few sessions the last time this has been addressed, so
yes,
it feels good to inform people.
Individuals have colored life forces.
This is a very low-res image, I apologize, but that's what the wiki has.
I mean, it's as close as we can get.
So basically, his vision is more or less color-limited and sort of... It's like... It's kind of... You know what it kind of makes me think of? It kind of makes me think of like a photo before you've developed it.
Ah, like a negative.
Yeah. Almost like he's experiencing a bit of a negative vision. Here's another example of such an area. So his vision is... His normal vision is very much... yeah, simplified, limited, and light hurts. This is extreme photosensitivity. But on the flip side, he can definitely detect life forces, auras, sort of. Last time he was affected with this condition, it affected one of his eyes, like the VTuber shows. It affected only his right eye. He simply covered it up while he had it and used his left eye to still see properly. However,
Please
now...
move!
Tubby? You might want to mute.
He did.
Yeah, I did briefly.
Okay, alright. What was I saying? Right, so last time only his right eye was affected, so he simply covered it up, just to recap, and used his left eye for normal vision. This time, however, both of his eyes are affected, so he doesn't have normal vision, like it or not, right now. So he is definitely struggling to see properly, and it is indeed kind of like walking around an environment that is both too dark and too bright in some ways. And that's my recap. I just wanted to explain that to everybody.
That is a good recap. Especially since we're coming to the end of this session, I think.
He will
Yeah,
actually... he will actually... Well, okay, maybe I'll save for next session if you want to stop.
No, we still have a bit.
Okay. Tucker would actually go over to Brooke and ask...
Could you help me with...
He kind of rummages in his bag a bit, filling around for the random bits of fabric he has. Are any of those fabric pieces long enough to cover the eyes?
I would say yeah.
Okay.
You have a variety of fabrics, and even if they weren't, you could probably just tie two together.
It really hurts to look around, so could you cover my eyes? I think I can still, see, sort of. Like, aura-wise. I'm gonna need a little help moving around, though, I think. Until this wears off.
He kind of asks, he kind of puts a question at the end of that as he talks to Brooke. It did last time, but who knows? Also, sorry if I wasn't clear. Basically, he's asking if the bipedal person with hands could help him tie a blindfold, basically. Brooke is a good friend. Brooke has hands. Tucker becoming 2B. Oh, wow. That reference.
No, Tucker becoming 9S. 9S, good boy.
I have debated getting that game and playing it. I have not done so.
I would recommend it. It does take multiple run-throughs to see everything.
Indeed. I didn't play its prequel, but I know a lot about its prequel.
You don't need to have played the prequel to play Nier.
Yeah, I know. They're separate games, basically. But, like, I do know they share some sort of, what's the word to put it? Unusual design decisions, which I find quite intriguing.
But Nier Automata has something like 26 endings, one for each
for
letter
every
of
letter
the alphabet.
I heard about that.
Some of them are really silly. It's great. Thankfully, after you complete a part, you get access to the chapters, I think.
Nice.
Brookline?
Oh, sure, Rook says and rummages around a bit before he finds one that matches the pink of his bandana. There you go. Hey, now you and Riley match. Riley making a noise before he passes back out.
Name detected. Must make noise. Tucker, of course, smiles gratefully to Brooke.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a bit better.
I assume that Tucker can still see the auras through the fabric, but the light isn't hurting as much now.
Correct.
Just how he wanted it then.
It's especially easy to see the outlines of your friends and those around you because, one, they are closest, and two, they are the strongest life forces nearby.
Are they distinct? Like, if he was at a distance, could he still pick out his friends' life forces?
You would be able to pick them out. They wouldn't be, super detailed, but you would be able to pick them out so long as you were within a decent visual distance.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would be able to recognize them at, say, like 300 feet.
Mm-hmm. Tucker could still sort of visibly see through the fabric unless Brooke really bundled it super thick. This is more to block the light out a bit more, but I'm assuming that Tucker could still, given the vision type being kind of a weird negative, that means he can still see shapes and stuff. It's not complete blindness. It's just painful to look too hard at light. That's the main thing. But it is harder to find distinct shapes all the time. So exploring an environment is kind of hard now for him. If I recall, too, this hurts his dark vision as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of the way it works, your dark vision does not function properly.
Because it's just really dark now. It's just pitch black.
Yeah. It's really dark. Any sort of light creates fairly bright highlights on things.
Mm-hmm. It's like extremes. Either a lot of his vision is either going to be extreme light, blinding light, or extreme darkness, pitch black. There is some exceptions to that, but it is definitely harder for him to see properly now.
I forget. Does it work like X-ray vision, sort of, so he can see through walls?
No, not unless it's a strong life force. And even then, it would not work through thick walls. Like, for instance, Tucker could not just look down and spot however many life forces.
So yeah, it's not really X-ray, though there is one advantage to that. If he, sees a life force in the distance, he kind of inherently gets to know that, there's probably clear space between him and that point. Sort of. And if there's, a structure, so there's probably, a wall here or there. So, it could still be used to help him navigate, but...
It's unlike Riley's aura ping. It's not a sense, it is a sight.
Mm-hmm. It's based on his vision.
So yeah, things could obstruct your vision, especially at a distance. Speaking of things not being obstructed, if you look in the right direction, you can vaguely make out Lyre.
Interesting. Well, his ears are still really good, so he can figure out what direction the music's coming from. Dog's gonna have to rely on his other senses a little bit more, basically. It is worth noting that it's maybe a little bit imperceptible unless somebody's really paying attention, but he does actually shiver a little bit. It's clear to him that the vision thing actually does bother him, but he's not really talking too much about it because so much has been going on, and they're still on a mission after all. He assumes it'll probably wear off, but he's a little worried about it. He's not sure. He does say one thing to Brooke, though, as he does contemplate for a moment.
I think this happens when I push myself too hard. Maybe when I use the power of darkness too much.
He said the line. I had to do it.
That's what happens when you use too much power of darkness without enough ice cream to balance it out.
And yeah, Shadow Sneak totally counts, at least in the way that Tucker is using it. I feel like if a Dark type's using Shadow Sneak, there's some darkness mixed in there. It just kind of makes sense. It's a freaking shadow.
Yeah, Shadow Sneak is one of those where it's like, yeah, I get it's a ghost move, but also it could have totally been a dark move.
Feels like those two types both work with the move, really quite mesh well with it. Also, Brookline.
Brooke comes thoughtfully. Have you talked to Rise about it? Maybe it's a dark type thing.
Oh, no, I haven't. Maybe after we help Shaman, maybe I can do that.
You could always stop at Savan Town before you go to Sea Spray.
But Tucker's eternal thinking is, but I'm on a mission right now. We've already backtracked a bit far away, so we shouldn't leave them waiting. And also, Hatterene is here, and yeah, Tucker's too polite to suggest it, basically. Ansem is renting Tucker's eyes. I don't think I... Oh, I see. Because the heart of
The power of darkness!
I get it now.
Yes, hello, this is my seeing eye dog. His name is Tucker, and he is precious. And if anyone harms him, I'll steal their heart.
Now I'm just imagining like some villain that's like super evil, but they also have a service dog. That's just kind of great.
We could stop at Savan Town. Honestly, I don't exactly know the route to Sea Spray from here.
Tucker contemplates.
If that's okay with everyone, I guess it might be a good idea to maybe get some new supplies and see how everybody's doing there.
It would be wise. At the very least, you can take the lovebirds over there. Back to Sea Spray. Kamo just looks over at the sleeping lizard and Riley.
I bet they're doing the sleepy cuddles.
They are. And it may do you some good to see some old friends after your ordeal.
Besides, I'm sure Rice still has that pair of sunglasses. I'm sure he'd let you borrow them.
It's true, you could just use the dark shades.
Wait, when did Rise have those? I don't remember, actually.
He got those super early on, but they were the
It was
wrong
like
shape.
episode 2.
Oh. Good memory, honestly. I didn't remember that at all.
Yep.
And neither does Tucker. Tucker kind of notes that...
The glasses? I don't think I remember them, but if he has something that helps with something like this, I should ask him about it. Assuming he doesn't need them anyways. Thanks for the idea.
I think Ryder could use the chance to relax. Maybe we can have a spa day, Brooke says. This would be wise.
Milk draft, let's go.
Milk what?
Hey, milk
Oh,
bath.
I see. Milk bath. Of course. Okay.
Hatterene looks towards Ralph, confused. Hey, what?
Oh, it's great. It's a hot tub filled with milk, and it just sucks out all your worries and pains. And then at the end, you get to drink it all, and it's mwah.
Ralph, even I think that's gross. It sounds interesting. Oh, yeah, that's one way to put it.
Oh, you can meet Pango Jingo too.
Somehow I don't think that's a good idea for Miss Hatterene here to be meeting Kangoro.
Can go get a promotion when we tell him we picked a fight with Eternatus.
No. I think he's going to have words for you.
Tucker actually responds and says,
I don't think he'd be very happy if he learned that.
That said, I know Kyrio's going to leave soon, but also I feel like this may be a good chance to stop.
yeah,
My energy is flagging.
that's fair. No, it's fine.
Yeah, fair. Yo, we said it was going to be a shorter session, but I think we squeezed out a full-length session.
More or less. We were a little late start because of technical difficulties, but
Let's keep most of our more divine encounters a little on the down low.
says Brooke.
Yep. Yeah.
Even
Everybody.
Tucker nods to that, who doesn't like the lie normally. He knows better, though, in this situation.
Yep. Everybody get your 2 XP.
Yay!
And thank you for suffering through legendary negotiations. And Lucario's
Does Ryder
ass.
get bonus for agreeing to terms and conditions?
No, because your bonus is you're going to get powers.
Ah, true. What are those, by the way? I could put them on the actual token.
That will be done eventually. So the way acolytes work, for those of you who may or may not have read certain glimpses, I have at least implied that acolytes do get access to a portion of their patron's powers. That is not the level that Tiber's dad has access to is not common, but also like almost nobody is an acolyte of Zygarde anymore. And it depends. There are some who have lots of acolytes, like say Articuno, so they spread their available, dispensable power thinly, and so they give only, smaller boons and blessings because they aren't really all that terribly strong to begin with. I need to think of what Eternatus is capable of, because boy howdy, this could be interesting. Right, has been part of the team for like a week and has died twice and been conscripted to a death god. Way to speedrun the team to your experience. Yes.
Yay!
Fair enough, yeah.
And in absolute fairness, this was literally a decision between Ryda and Tucker. If you all had both jumped in, it would still had to have been a decision between the two of you.
Which decision?
Who becomes the acolyte?
Ah, I see.
I figured Ryder would be the most fitting, and I know Tucker would probably have, resisted or tried to get around it, and Ryder was like, you know what, I'm gonna go straight up for it. I'll be your disciple of vengeance.
Tucker, the only reason Tucker agreed to... Listen, Tucker actually, as easygoing as he is, he probably wouldn't normally agree to any acolyte in this with anybody. The only reason he agreed with the Mewtwo's mark is simply because Mewtwo was the only legendary he's met so far that wasn't an asshole in some way. Really. Even Articuno was okay, but not like he appreciated their help, but they could have been a little nicer in his opinion. He doesn't like the legendary ego, right? And so far, Mewtwo is the only one that hasn't demonstrated that, so he's totally down for getting that mark. But outside of that, he would probably be against most legendary marks.
I think Mewtwo's the only one that has no ego.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, unfortunately, Mewtwo can't really bless anyone, so...
Interesting enough, Ryda has respect for Eternatus.
Huh. Well, okay, to be fair, Tucker did internally acknowledge that, Eternatus doesn't think he's doing the wrong thing, and he thinks he's trying to help in different ways, in his own way. So, he acknowledged, Tucker is able to acknowledge that these legendaries do not think of themselves as evil, generally, at least most of them, and do think themselves to be doing the right thing, but, again, right idea, wrong execution is basically Tucker's attitude of a lot of legendaries.
I mean, that's fair. They also operate on a scale that is usually beyond mortal.
Which he's been told. Tucker has been directly stated that he doesn't
Everyone has been
understand
told that so many times.
He both agrees with that, yeah, I totally don't understand that that's true, but also, I still think they could do better. It's kind of Tucker's attitude.
That's fair. And to exposit a bit at y'all before you go, Eternatus' prison is not as full as you think it is, and 99% of the prisoners there are there because they should be there. Yeah. Not something that your characters are necessarily aware of, but there's a reason it's only 99%.
Yeah,
because sometimes he gets it wrong.
So yeah, it feels like Eternatus keeps actual like proper prisoners, but considering how he tried to imprison us and the reasons why, that was kind of more like political imprisonment. I kind of feel like where you're imprisoning people that aren't evil, terrible people, but there's like a reason why the governing prison would want to keep them in prison.
Correct.
Yeah.
Even though the Dragon Council that you met beforehand, they were not fond of y'all, but they also didn't immediately start. Well, okay, they may have they wondered where Eternatus was, but they didn't go immediately sending someone for him.
Right. They probably wouldn't have cared if Eternatus had whisked away at that time, though, probably.
Personally, we only have our own frame of reference. I don't think it's fair for them to expect us to stand down based on a metaphysical perspective. They should just account for us. I mean, that's so hard for them to do, though.
Yeah, accounting for lesser beings is kind of hard for Legendary, I feel.
So, this reminds me, there's a point in Loop Hero where a character basically lays down for you that for a god to talk to a mortal, it bores the ever-living shit out of them, and it is so difficult for them to relate because they function on such a high level that for a god to be helpful to mortals, they need to literally seal off their god bits and function in a mortal avatar on a mortal level, otherwise it just doesn't work.
I mean, I think that's a logical way for, like, gods and stuff to be handled in media, because I feel like gods are very powerful, but in that they also lose something. They also lose a perspective, I guess is the way I'd put it.
Yeah. Because their perspective is on such a grand scale, the minute stuff just doesn't matter.
Even though sometimes the minute stuff does really matter, and they need to actually consider that.
To them, it doesn't.
Yeah,
to
that's
a normal person. It would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's all a matter of scale.
Anywho's,
has everybody added their experience, by the way? Just to ask.
Yep.
I have. You've got to redeem, by the way.
I do see that. Yes, I'll go ahead and do that as we finish off here. Well, let's see here. So, Tucker Redemption, which I don't normally do during Pokerole, but you chose a good time. So,
Today's episode of Pokerole is brought to you by Snomlets, sweet taste and refreshing texture, and by Savan Town Post Offices. We deliver, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
That's dumb.
Sounds like a PBS ad.
I think I'm gonna buy a point in contest.
Okay.
That's what I was going for. Like PBS viewer.
Yeah.
Programming.
Brought to you by viewers, because they always said that, like, blah 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 is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you, because they didn't, you know, it's probably wasn't funded by commercials and stuff. So
seriously though, donate to Charm to keep Pokerole running. That's
please
fair.
do. I mean, I'm not. It's fine, but I do want to point out that we're approaching them. We're a third of the way through May, and so far the donation bar at the top. Which is optional, mind you. You don't have to fill it, but it's ideal if it is filled every month. It is ideal for my finances if it's filled every month. So we'll put out it's $0. So, you know, if you feel like donating, if you feel like subbing, if you feel like donating bits, whatever you want to do, it does help, and I do appreciate it. Viewers like you agreed to my childhood. Same, honestly. Caleb used to watch PBS a ton back in the day. But yeah. So you bought a point in contest?
Yeah, how much does my level go up?
1.
For contest point?
Oh, yeah, it would be 3 then, I guess.
Third contest point. What would it be 3? I forget how the math works. I think we have a sheet to that. Oh, here we go. Over here. Look at this lower left info card. Says how it works.
Yeah. So 3.
Attributes or skills equals to the point number you just bought.
Yeah, it just doesn't adjust when you buy specialties.
Yeah, moves. Specialties doesn't move your level.
Okay, I'm going to head off. Thank you very much for the chill game.
Yeah, and thank you too.
And letting me run even though my energy is not perfect.
Low energy games can be fun too. We just have to adjust our expectations and what we're exactly trying to accomplish in the session, basically. work within the pacing of what we can do.
Yes.
Good night to you too, Kyrio. You have a good dinner, man. I hope you have a nice one. I'm gonna have a nice dinner too, I think. I don't know. I'll figure out what I'm doing with it. But yes, I agree. So, good night, everyone. I'm gonna head off the call myself. And thank you very much for a good game today.
Good stuff.
And as for you guys, viewers, I hope you enjoyed session 104 of Pokerole, probably without the audio glitches we were experiencing before technical difficulties. So that's good. I think we fixed that. Had a few frame drops, but that's fine. That's just Twitch, I think. Tubby! Oh! When a farmer only grows fruits and vegetables, are they a producer? Thank you, Tubby. Thank you very much, Tubby. Okay. I kind of left the call. Let me rejoin, actually. Tubby, I left the call because I was headed off, but after you did that, I have to come over here and say thank you.
And laugh at my joke.
He didn't laugh at you. Your joke was bad, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Tubby. I really appreciate that, man. Every little bit helps, and that's quite a bit, actually. I hope work's going okay for you lately. On that note, as far as
yeah, definitely.
I'll actually hang on this call. I'm gonna do my outro now, but we can talk a little bit as I insulate. So, but yeah, viewers, thank you very much for coming by. And session 105 will be in 2 weeks from now. What day is that? That is the 24th of May is probably going to be our next session. So look forward for that now. Well, not now, then, rather. And, of course, more streams in the meantime. So please come by the other streams if you can. And I'll see you guys then. Thanks for coming.